Welcome everybody to the 2025 edition of the Jefferson County Board of Tourism. If y'all be so kind and standing up, doing a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. I'd like to welcome our newest board member, Josh Abbott.
Hello, sir.
Please introduce yourself.
Yep.
And you got 1 minute. And why you're excited about the being on this board.
Okay,
Yeah.
So Josh Abbott. So I have about 9 years in hospitality. I am with Fairfield Inn, historic Eagle Cotton Mill in downtown Madison. Excited about the opportunity that you all gave me, and put me on the board. I think I have knowledge and insights that could probably go a long way with different caveats that we can kind of navigate through, and different areas that I can assist with, just with the knowledge that I have in the hotel that I'm at. So I appreciate you all and look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before you leave, let me get your phone number.
Okay, absolutely.
Next on the agenda is the 2025 officers. We need to vote on the 2025 board officers. I believe it's been presented as Renee Stevens, Secretary, Dave Bramer, Financial Extraordinary Treasurer, Jim Bartlett, the real president, and the president, Trevor Crafton, who struggles with Robert's Rules of Order. So I think that's the slate. If anyone would like to make a motion for Renee, David, Jim, and Trevor. Josh.
We're all on
My
that.
motion.
Josh made the motion.
I'll second it.
Jim, should you have abstained, Jim?
I should abstain, but there's no one else to do it, so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for allowing me another opportunity in 2025. The approval of minutes, now that Renee Stevens is our treasurer, we'll be getting with,
Secretary.
or my bad, secretary.
But she's gonna do the minutes.
I was looking at my mess up on M3 and MAAA, but anyway, we'll get with Wendy this week, and we'll connect you and Wendy to get minutes for December, and then January, and we'll present them in February.
Okay.
Everybody's okay with that. Dave Bramer, treasurer's report, please, sir.
Okay, so for December, the innkeeper's tax was $76,198.75. That was up 17.4% from the previous December. Overall, for 2024, it was $771,384.92. And for the year, that was up 5.4% from the previous year. And that leaves us as a kind of a balance. We had so much to start with, how much we, budget-wise, we spent, or how much we brought in for the year, and then how much our expenses were. Check that. Anyway, $578,470.09 as the beginning balance for 2025. I also have presented you with the budget for 2025. So the two changes from 2024 are the increase in the VMI contract, which went up 4%, and then we increased the community outreach $100,000 from $350,000 to $450,000.
Went from 909 to $1,022,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we do have one claim, and that's for the contract with BMI for operation expenses for the first quarter of $87,880.
Everyone go ahead and sign that.
Yep. I'd entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report and the claim for BMI operating.
Josh made a motion. Would you
I'll
like to second, Jim? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, be quick.
Motion carries. Dave, thank you.
Okay.
It looks like we're in a healthy spot going into 2025.
And you know, when we started a number of years ago, we had a huge surplus. We don't have a huge surplus, but we still have a fairly healthy surplus, so that may be something we want to discuss as we go along in the year.
Okay.
How do we wanna, and probably good to see what the first few months bring in, how they compare, and then maybe have some of those discussions.
Maybe after March?
Probably,
Yeah.
and then make, I know we go to the council, but we make, if we show that we're doing well, I think we can go one trip and maybe up it if it looks like that. So I
Okay.
think that would be some discussion we'd wanna have in a couple months.
Okay. That sounds great. Dave, thank you again. Kim Nyberg
Yes,
for MAAA. Once again, I apologize.
that's okay.
And Josh, just for your knowledge,
Yes.
any of the applicants that apply, going into March and then August, we have two grant cycles, March and August.
Right.
Do you feel like, from a business standpoint, if you're gonna come back and ask for money, you at least have to present to us, what did you spend this money on that we gave you last time? What are you gonna do differently moving forward?
Yeah, that's
You know,
perfect.
so Kim does a fantastic job, obviously, of coming in and saying, hey, this is how much you gave us.
Right.
This is what we did with it, and this is what we're gonna do next. So,
But you know what I realized today? We actually reported in August.
you did?
I know, so we're over-reporting.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it.
I just realized it was August and David came to report. And so I'm not here to really get into a lot of stuff. There is no big presentation, but I do have a handout for y'all. First off, I think, and I have presents. These are buttons from the new public art piece. So I'm Kim Nyberg. I think I know everybody here from the Madison Area Arts Alliance, and I'll just hand these out. Just a couple things that I wanted to present tonight. First off, I think the most important thing to talk about is the support that the Board of Tourism has given to our organizations that are part of the Alliance. Jess is here from Historic Madison, Andrew with VMI. And if you really look at it, the infrastructure of tourism is made up of our organizations. So you have Main Street and Small Business, you have Arts and Culture with the Arts Alliance, you have Music with M3, Historic Properties, the History and Genealogy. So all of these organizations really make up the Alliance. And that's the bulk of tourism in our community.
And can I stop you right there?
Yeah,
2 years ago, you did an exceptional job of giving me a call, and you and I talked on the phone, and you were like, Trevor, what you just named, they're constantly being overlooked, but they're the infrastructure, like they're the foundation of all this. You can build an amphitheater, you can redo turf, you can do all these things, but the little guys that constantly get overlooked and have a budget of 15 grand and 8 grand and 6 grand and 4 grand, you gotta prop them up a little bit, because they're
That's
the
the product.
infrastructure. Yeah,
that's really the product.
and I've thanked you a number of times. I want to publicly thank you again for just sharing that with me, because I was not thinking that way. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome, certainly. I think it took many, many, many years for our community to really understand that. I think we've all known it. We know what it is, but when you start looking at the big picture, why do people come here and why do people love it? And it's not one of those things, it's all of them. It's all of them when they're put together. It's kind of like in theater, when you're the triple threat. Madison is the triple threat in the community, because you have the built environment, the natural environment, and you have these wonderful people. So you have this whole thing going. So anyway, I just think it's important to stop once a year and really talk about the infrastructure of tourism. So thank y'all so much. It's with your guidance and your financial support that every one of our organizations have been able to grow and to secure themselves better than we ever have before. And it's because of this, I believe. And then you've got VMI taking the message and taking it out. So they're the key piece, and we provide our individual pieces. So I just think it's important to stop and say thank you. So thank you very, very much. I know for our organization, the Madison Area Arts Alliance, y'all, we're only, I was trying to think, 11 years old maybe. So we're kind of the babies in the group. But our organization, since we were here in August, I thought it was important to come back and just kind of share a couple things, not to get into it too deep. Just things that y'all have helped us do. So our organization is now a full-time staffed program. We have one full-time executive director, and we have a part-time program manager and a part-time office and gallery manager, which is really kind of cool. We went from zero. To this, so pretty excited. We are looking to expand our staff in 2025. So you'll hear more about that as that goes forward. Continuing our mission to promote and nurture our creative community, our artists. That's our creative community. And artist is a very broad term for us. It means anybody and everybody who wants to be part of our organization can be. So we do a lot of programming. We have a new physical space, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, at 324 Mulberry. So we have 326 and 324, so we expanded our footprint. The gallery is an amazing addition to our organization. I think, Jim, I know you've been there.
I've been there a couple times. And
It's awesome, and people have responded, and we have lots of activities. So we're generating a lot of activity, which is
That was the expansion.
really-
You, me, and Dave were in a couple. Yeah,
Yes.
2 or 3. And didn't you have, not you, Dave, there's a
David
different Dave
Terrell.
out there.
David Terrell,
Yeah.
yeah.
Didn't you have people over there yesterday at 3:00?
Oh, boy. So I was telling Andrew, we had an event Thursday night. We had a board meeting Wednesday night. We had an event Thursday night, and it was called Art After Dark. It's a new program that's open to anybody who would like to be there. So that was Thursday night. Friday night, we had Gallery at the Spot. We had 3 artists, one from Chicago and one emerging, a local young woman from the area. And then we had another artist that's been here. So we had a big event Friday night. And then Saturday night, there was a poetry event that wasn't at our space, that was across the street, or up the street at James.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, we had blues. We had a big blues session there. So we've utilized that space 3 times in the last couple days, with a lot of people being there.
That's cool.
So that's been really good for us. So and I'm not going to read all this to you. I just want to point out 3 major areas we work in: public arts, tours, arts tours and programming, special events. The biggest project that we ever have taken on, you might have been reading about it, is called River's Edge. Yeah. And it's a sculpture that's at the bridge, the Gateway Project. It was an incredible project. And so I brought this to y'all. It's a pin that is a little memento for that. So that was a big project. We partnered with, it was a public-private partnership. We raised tons of funds for that. We partnered with the City Public Arts Commission, and we raised $107,000 for that project. And that's just public and private partnering. We were pretty excited about it. Yeah. It's a good project. What that is, and we worked with Indiana Destination Development Corporation and Patronicity, and those are state programs, and they see it as an attraction. So we're bringing that one online, and I noticed in the new visitor's guide, I think there is a visual of that sculpture. So pretty exciting. Our biggest project, refreshed artsy boxes. This is just in public arts. Refreshing the artsy boxes on the Hilltop and in Hanover.
I love that.
Those are so cool.
That's so great.
All of those are getting redone. As soon as the weather breaks, they'll start fabricating those. We're looking for sponsors. We need about 14 sponsors for those, but we'll find that. We have new exhibits and hanging system in the Arts Alley, and that's between the tap room and Bellows. That'll be in the spring. And then the Dollar General Marketplace, we have murals that will be installed there.
Great.
So those are coming up, and sculptures, so there's 2 sculptures as well. Other things, tours, we're expanding our public arts tours with the trolley. We're gonna be talking to VMI about doing some cool stuff with the trolley. And then golf cart. We have a golf cart, and we're gonna start that project in the spring. And we've covered, working with Acre Golf Carts, Acreella. We had a golf cart covered. I don't even want to talk about this one because I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to in the spring. So that'll be kind of fun. Other things, we just listen to people, and we create programs based on what the community's telling us. And we do, tourism is a big deal. We're open. People want to know about it. They want to know about our community. We are a cultural district, one of 12 in the state. And we continue to carry that. So the last thing on this list is programming, and you'll see all the programs that we have. We've just really started pushing that, and again, listening to what people have to say and what they want, and listening to our alliance friends and that partnership. It's really important to us. So that's what I have. This is not a ask for anything.
No.
I just wanted you to know what we were doing.
Kim, the artists and musicians, do they come to you, or do you have your program manager reach out to them?
For what?
Or any events, like you had 3 events here recently.
Well, we just put it out to the community, and we just put our heads together and we come up with these crazy programs.
Yeah.
And Thursday night was a visioning program. So part of when you look at the Arts Alliance, it's not about just fine art.
Right.
It's folk art and culinary arts and healing arts and music and all of those things. It's all of the creative stuff.
Yeah.
So Thursday night was a healing art program.
Okay.
And it had to do with visioning boards, and we had a waiting list. We only had room for so many, and we had people waiting.
Wow.
And we did it by donation. So it wasn't like $1 bazillion to
Yeah.
attend. So
It's pretty neat.
that's the kind of stuff we do.
Yeah, no, it's neat.
Good question. But we're always open. Like, if we hear about somebody doing some cool stuff, we'll contact them. But we really, part of our mission is everyone is a part of this.
Right.
And we don't close it off. It's not a membership organization or anything like that. Anybody can be a part of it. And the really cool thing is, if you look on here, we start with Artsy Camp, which is kindergarten through 6th grade. We have the creatives, which is junior high, senior high, and college. We have creative roundtables that are for everybody. So we're just trying to hit everyone that would like to be a part of what we do.
Okay.
We keep it, kind of open to
Yeah.
everybody. We can't do everything for everybody, but we
Right.
just, it's kind of fun that way.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it is.
And
It's a
Josh,
very-
they market well with VMI.
VMI?
Yeah.
It's a very rewarding, I've been in community development my whole professional career. And this is a different animal. And it really is rewarding because you see your community improve. Like, for instance, when we opened the spot on Mulberry Street, there was a couple places. Now it's more. The communities, the partnership with the city and how that whole area has been lifted up.
Yeah.
The Kindness Mural Plaza we did. I mean, it just has generated so much activity.
Of course.
And it's very rewarding to see that. So, yeah. But thank you for your help, and we would not have been able to do what we're doing without you guys. I just wanted you to know that.
And thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Unless you want to, because you have nothing else going on, you don't have to sit there.
Oh, I want to.
Oh, you want to hear
I'm
Andrew
a
leave?
geek about this stuff, you know
I
that.
love it.
Thank you.
Kim, thank you again. Andrew, VMI update, VMI marketing update.
Marketing, we are still finalizing everything for 24, so look for a report coming from Sarah here in the next week or two. She's also been putting the finishing touches on the experience guide. The last few years, her deadlines have been in February, and we have it in hand by March 1st. We're really intentional about trying to get that continued move up, so that we've got it in hand a little sooner. It is at the printer right now, and so we should have it here in hand in the next couple weeks. So by the next Board of Tourism meeting, hopefully we are handing those out. We did reduce the amount that we ordered this year, because one of the programs that we used with the state, they discontinued that, where we got a list of like 10,000 names this last year, and we did direct mail out to all of those, and they discontinued that program this year. So we aren't gonna be doing that, but we only reduced a little bit. We still, we are down to our last maybe 4 or 5 boxes, so we've got like 500 guides left. We've distributed over what we ordered this last year, almost 60,000, I think, so.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And I've seen what some of my colleagues order around the state. They've been sharing in a forum, and we're on par with larger destinations, like what Fort Wayne orders each year, Bloomington, Evansville, some of those. We're up there as far as what we order and distribute. So there is still a lot of interest in the paper guide. We are getting a ton of website hits, but we see those, people pick them up, they love them. If you're downtown on a busy weekend, or any weekend really, you see people walking around with that thing in their hands, looking at what there is to do. So we still see the value in that. And I'm excited to get it here at least a month earlier than what we have in the last 4 or 5 years. So,
And Sarah showed us the map when you open
Yes.
it up, and it goes over to Hanover College and Hanover Park, and, okay.
yep, very, very intentional, again, to include the hilltop in that fold-out map.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important, giving people an idea of everything that's going on here in Madison. Now, we couldn't zoom out and do the entire county, but we do have things on the map pointing to Eleutherian College, pointing to Gendy's out in Hanover, pointing to Hanover College. So we were trying to be very intentional about showing that there's more than just downtown. So that is at the printer. We finalized that this last week and got it to the printer. We are doing our end of year information. The innkeeper's collections from the state, on the state website, wasn't updated. It hasn't been updated since November, at least on Thursday or Friday was the last time they had updated that. So, I looked at it and they had not updated as of Thursday or Friday. Placer, I ran that, did want to give you a couple numbers for the end of the year. I'll get you a formal report, written report, so you can see all these numbers. We were down slightly according to Placer with unique visitors for the year. So using our visitor definition that we adopted last year of staying here more than 90 minutes and drove from more than 35 miles from their home, we had 270,000 unique visitors that fit that definition. They made 1.1 million visits last year. So great loyalty, coming back 4 times a year on average. And that's one of the things that we hear. We did a Nights Before Christmas survey and asked people that bought tickets to Nights just about their experience, why they came. And about 40% of respondents, if I'm recalling these numbers right, said that they heard about it when they were in Madison for some other event, whether it was Riverfest or Regatta or something, made them want to come back for Nights. So that's really cool. They show some loyalty. So that was our number this year, 270,000 unique visitors. 2023 was 281,500. So down slightly, but still in 23 made 1.1 million unique visits. So, we stayed about the same, saw a little uptick in those people coming back.
So it was 11,000 difference?
11.5.
The good weather Chautauqua might have fixed that.
Well, yeah, because they were down about 50%. So you're right, I mean, that,
Yeah.
and there were a couple other weekends that were usually big in October, if I remember right, that got rained out. Nights before Christmas weekend, we had the bitter cold that first weekend, which I think affected that. So there's some of these things that, you're right, Jim.
Yeah.
Some of those, I think, affected our numbers. Not down enough to worry me. Overall, we had, for 2024, 760,000 unique visitors in the county. And so that's not the time limit or driving more than, that could be somebody just coming across from Scottsburg. But in 2024, we had 760,000 unique people come to Jefferson County, which is really big. And those people made 6.3 million visits. So again, showing that Tony Steinhardt and I talked about the shopping center and us being the regional hub. A lot of those, if you put the parameters on the placer search, you can see they're driving, 20, 25 miles. They're coming from Carrollton, they're coming from Scottsburg for sales, even over at Batesville. They're coming once a month and coming to the shopping center, making Madison that regional hub. So that's very important too. But I'm trying to make sure I know what I'm telling you, and I'm very clear about what is a visitor and what somebody that maybe sees Madison as their shopping hub. They're still important, but we're trying to look at those overnight stays, the people that are coming and staying and spending some money here. So that's why I give you those two different numbers. The next few weeks, I'll send you a report on Chamber Conference, Preservation Conference, and the trolley. And we are working on conferences and conventions for this year. I know we've got a few lined up, Cotton Mill and Clifty for this year that are really exciting. The trolley is here. We are working on full programming for 2025 and hope to have that debuted here in the next couple months. And of course, we'll be doing other events between now and then, but we want to really come out with a splash with the full programming. JCTA next meeting is Wednesday, the 29th. So you are all welcome to come.
Where is it?
It's at the Chamber Building at 9 a.m. next Wednesday.
Josh, would you be able to go to that?
Let me see. You said 9 AM next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday at the Chamber Building.
Yeah, I should be able to make that.
So that's, just wanted to update you on that. And then I meant to mention this earlier in the innkeeper's text. The collections for the year, obviously you see that was up. Occupancy showed being down slightly throughout the year. Even on the Airbnb side with some of the AirDNA data that we're pulling. So occupancy was down, but higher daily rates helped push the innkeeper's tax numbers up, I think. And then on the new rate, the 8% that went into effect January 1st, I think most of our local hoteliers know about that and plan for it. It was in their systems, all that. I did send a reminder just at the end of the year, just wanted to make sure everybody remembered that. I did email the state because I had emailed them back in September saying, here's all of our documentation, here's the signed thing from county council. They said, great, thank you. And I never heard anything else from them. After September, I thought, okay, well, they've done it. And then something about it just made me think, I need to email them. It was that week after Christmas, and I emailed them, I said, hey, this go into effect for Jefferson County, is there anything else we need to do? And they said, oh, we saw Madison, we thought Madison County, not Jefferson County. And I was like, are you kidding me? So they said there's nothing else we need to do. They said it was an issue on their end, but if the first month of collections looks wonky, that could be a possibility from the state. So I just wanted to, the majority of our money comes from local collections, and I think that's all taken care of, but I was very frustrated with that. So, but I think they've.
That state organization, I tell you. I'm gonna call the governor's office.
We have some connections there. But they, the person I communicated with was very kind and mention, oh, I'm really sorry about that.
Right.
But, yeah, so I'm glad I sent that email. Always helps to double check.
But at least they didn't say Madison, Wisconsin. So
That's right.
So that's,
So, that is my report. Did you have any questions for me? Thank
I
you.
don't think at this time. Yep.
All right, looking forward to a great year. We're off and running.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's gonna be good. Great.
It's coming fast.
It's only
Andrew, thank you. We found out next Wednesday, 9 AM chamber. Josh, thank you for, being able to attend that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, kind of get your feet wet on a lot of the infrastructure that Kim was talking about earlier.
Right.
You know, get together and they talk about, you know, economic impacts and tourism.
Of course.
And Jess, and Andrew help lead those things, so.
Awesome.
Jim, if you'd kind of give a public statement of the process of grant application, then I have a little caveat on the end for Dave.
So, the spring grant application season is upon us. And I've had several organizations contact me so far, and I've given them links to get to the application. Nobody's returned an application to me yet, but they're not due for another month. So the grant applications, for anybody who needs an application, if they'll contact me, I will send them the link to fill out the application and turn it in. They can reach me at jbartlett@madison-in.gov. Or they can call me, and if they call me, I'm probably gonna ask them to send me an email, but they're welcome to call me as well. That's 812-292-2037. The applications themselves will be due in by noon on March 3rd. And we will be reviewing those applications. I'll distribute the applications to the members of the board. But we'll formally review those applications, and the applicants will be making presentations of their application on June 17th at our,
March 17th.
I'm sorry, March 17th, I said June, March 17th, and at our regular JCBT meeting here, 6:30. The following Monday, the board will meet again. Applicants don't need to be there if they don't want to, but that is the Monday that we will actually present the grants that we're giving out.
Jim, thank you for extending your hand to be to champion that. And what I wanted to talk about Dave was, and if I forget this in February, somebody remind me, but I want to be very clear to the public and those recipients of the grant monies. When we present it on the 24th, Dave, if you wouldn't mind just sharing publicly, we've done this a number of times, but people still miss it. What do they need to do step by step when they are awarded money?
Okay.
And I'll also go further with what I said a few minutes ago. If there's an organization that doesn't understand what the grants are for, they're welcome to call me, and I'm happy to sit down with them and explain the grants to them, explain the grant process. And in fact, I'm doing that with one organization later this week.
And once they're awarded that grant, they send an invoice to Dave Bramer. Then Dave Bramer gets the check cut, and they can either pick it up at the courthouse or it'll be sent to them, correct? Okay, that's the process.
And one thing that we will be pushing, we've pushed it harder and harder every grant cycle, but one of the things that we will be pushing harder this year than we did last year, and like I say, each year we've pushed it harder and harder, is that those organizations that are awarded a grant will be expected to come in and give us a report after they've received the grant of what did they use it for and what kind of results did they get and what their plans are in the future.
Smart.
Thank you all. Our future meetings, the next one is February 17th. And then a month after that starts our special first grant cycle. Are there any? Jess in the corner.
This is more of an alliance question, and I know that Jim is not Victoria, so that's fine. But previously,
He's not.
I know.
Yeah.
Previously, Victoria would send the Tourism Alliance the link, which alleviated issues of having to coordinate with all those people.
Can you send me the email address to send it to?
You get all of the Tourism Alliance emails already. Because you are a JCBT board member, so you're on the list. If you want me to forward you one of the most recent emails, we can do that. But you're already getting them.
Do that, because I'm not aware of getting them.
Okay. I'm like 98% sure that Andrew and I make that happen, so we'll check that and see, but that way, if you send it to all of the members of the Alliance, then you don't have to go chasing every who, what, and where.
Perfect.
And that's
And
fine.
if they have questions, they can still reach out to you,
Yeah.
but that simplifies things for you a little bit, so.
Jess,
Okay.
thank you.
No, I'm happy to do that.
Okay,
But-
and if we can get it before Wednesday, that's even better, because we'll talk about it at the Alliance and remind everyone, because we always do that.
I'll try
anyway.
to.
Okay.
But again, copy me on a recent email so that I've got the
Andrew's
address.
looking right now.
This-
Probably already doing.
This last one, it looks like I forgot to include JCBT on it.
Okay,
On previous ones, I think, it looks like board of tourism members were included, but not on this one. That is my fault.
And, I mean, I always want to bring this up, but I mean, we can debate how money is dispersed and whether it benefits tourism or not. I mean, all those things are the fun parts of discussion, right? Again, we don't make our money unless people lay their heads in a bed here in Jefferson County, straight up, straight down, you know? So I want, as people discuss those things at JCTA and elsewhere, that's how we make our money, you know? So.
What's interesting, and if I can add to what you just said.
Yeah.
These organizations, as we've gone through at the Alliance, these discussions with the organizations, we always talk about, how does this affect tourism? Because before, you know, we were just all doing our own thing and not thinking about it. I'm thinking 4 years ago when we started the Alliance. And now there's more of a conversation at the Alliance meetings about, okay, that's your mission and that's what you do. How does that really ultimately affect? And I think because of Jess and Andrew, it's been good. So, yeah.
Well, one of something that I was talking to Josh about yesterday was, I mean, in its most simple form, it can't always be this easy, right? But in its most simple form, I'll use Kara Fox as an example. Because MAAA does grand things. I'm talking about a simple fundamental form, right? Kara Fox says, okay, I need $3,600. And I'm gonna bring in 90 people, and I think 75 of them are gonna stay here for 4 nights. And we get 8% of that. And the average daily rate is $160, you know? We do the math, and I'm not doing the calculator right now, and we make back $2,800. So we give her a $3,600 check, we make $2,800, we're donating $600, $800 for the people to eat and drink and enjoy Madison. So I mean, in its most simplistic form.
And come back.
Yeah, I know, and I always appreciated that simple form. And it gets in every level, like your level becomes super complex, right?
Well, you take ours and just our plein air painters. They were
Yeah,
here for 4 days.
yeah,
They stayed all over the place.
I love
There
it.
were 50 of them.
right.
So how do you even put numbers to that? So, but that's what I'm saying, you guys have made us all think about how to do that.
But my wife and I, my wife's very artsy fartsy, and I say that and she laughs, right? And I'm not, and she's better, a lot better than me in that category, and she and I talk in those ways. You know, we talk a lot about, that's how my mind works with the business aspect, and she talks about how her mind works. And I've learned that over time, so, yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
And I think, and you know this already, but tourism is that show they came into town to see. But it's also that customer in the restaurant, and that customer at the bar, and that customer in the hotel, and that customer in the knick-knack shop, and that customer going up and down Main Street. So the impact to the city of Madison is so much more than just a night in a hotel.
Oh, no.
It's that experience
Yeah.
that makes them, yeah, exactly.
And so much of that is very difficult to put a pin to say, what's that worth? But we see it, what it's worth every month, at the end of the month, when we get the
Yeah.
numbers from the hotels, when we see the tourism tax, and so on. And so it's all of those pieces that create tourism in Madison and Jefferson County. And I gotta say, and Jefferson County, because we do have things going on in Hanover now. We do have things going on at the fairgrounds. Before too long, we're gonna have another campground out at JPG. And so it really is the county now.
Pretty cool.
But like Kim, and thank you for saying that, and like Kim was talking about earlier, and VMI is the tool. They're the vehicle. Like they are the ones that get all of this stuff out there, you know? And it's the recycling. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to watch.
We've talked a lot, we're trying to change how we're talking about it, that we take what others are doing and put a megaphone to it.
Yeah.
You know, take what the Arts Alliance is doing, take what Historic Madison's doing, you know, we try not to dabble in everybody else's marketing. You know, we don't wanna do the cotton mills marketing for them, but we wanna take their marketing and amplify it to the rest of the world. Amplify it to the region, amplify it to the rest of the country, and so, I'm glad you mentioned that, you know, we wanna take it, just push it even further.
I think the understanding that's happening is kind of cool. I've been in Madison for a long, long time. And it's really neat how it's all coming together, just the last 5 years, I think. Or I shouldn't even put a time on it, not 5 years.
It just seems a
But just
little more
recent.
simple.
It's simplified.
Yeah, yeah.
It is, it's not complex, it's
I
easy,
know.
yeah.
All right, well,
I do have a question for you.
for me directly,
Yeah.
Kim?
On our
Okay.
meeting schedule,
Okay.
you got September 22nd, which is actually the fourth Monday of that month.
When I sent out the agenda in December, that was the proposed agenda, and I didn't have anybody say anything. And I, just like with a number of agendas, I could have mistyped. Let me see here.
I don't have any problem with it, I'm just wanting to clarify.
I just wanna look what I sent out in December and then in November. See if No, I put September 15th originally, so I mistyped that. I'm sorry, guys.
So it is the 15th?
Yeah. Everybody okay with that? Okay, my bad. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. We'll change it after. Jim, thank you. You got anything else? Josh, thanks for joining the board.
Appreciate it, yes, absolutely.
Rainey?
Good.
Thank you. Dave, you good? Okay. Anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'm a
First
motion
one.
guy, let's do it.
The motion guy.
I'll second it.
All right, motion carries.